I'm Dylan Baines, coming at you live on behalf of Footbin to deliver a custom tactics breakdown of the 4-3-2-1, a formation that many pros and high caliber players are currently using in EAFC 24. Not only does this formation allow you to overload the attack and put a lot of pressure onto your opponent with the three centre forwards up top and the overlapping wing backs, but it also allows you to maintain a solid defensive line, because once you implement these player instructions that I'm about to break down for you, this formation will actually set up as a 4-4-2 defensively. A very solid backline indeed. First up, the custom tactics, and you're gonna want to have defensive style unbalanced. This is simply because in the future weeks, you're not only going to learn how to defend manually, but you're going to learn how to defend without relying so much on the AI. And having a balanced defensive style will allow you guys to dictate how you control your defense by manually selecting your defenders with right stick switching and essentially keeping a tight line in your defense without having to rely on pressure after possession loss, constant pressure, or pressure after heavy touch. Now, in terms of width, because this is a rather narrow formation, we don't want this to be any narrower than 50. It really depends what you guys are looking for. But at the end of the day, we have our wing backs overlapping when it comes to the player instructions, which means we only really need between 50 and 55 width, because the formation is wide enough once you have those wing backs bombing forward. And lastly, for the defensive tactics, we have depth. Now, this is a rather controversial topic at the moment in the EAFC 24 community, because under 44 allows you to maintain a solid line of the defense, and it doesn't force or trigger the AI constant pressure mechanic in the game, which EA have added in this year when you have your depth set to 71 or above. But then you have people that prefer to press up the pitch. And I'm gonna summarize it this way. If you are an advanced defender, I highly recommend having your depth set to 71 or above. If you are a lower tier defender, have your depth set to 44 whilst you learn how to control your defenders manually and right stick switch. Now, in terms of the offensive tactics, again, this is going to be unbalanced simply because I mentioned it before. You're gonna wanna try and learn how to attack without the AI implementation, and your player instructions will be all you'll need in terms of any AI implementation into your attack. So this is unbalanced. We then move in to chance creation. Now, this is going to be set to direct passing, simply because, as I mentioned before, this is a formation that always has passing options open, and you will even enhance the formation in terms of your players coming and offering for the ball and allowing you to string passes together. Direct passing, as you will find out, will also play a key role in the build-up strategy, which I'm going to deconstruct at the end of this video. Now, in terms of width, this will yet again remain on 50, as I believe this formation is wide enough when it comes to your wing backs bombing forward and setting up as a 5-man attack when it comes to going forward and countering your opponent. Plays in the box is on 6. This is rather standard. We don't need any more, nor do we need any less, as our wing backs will accompany us in the attack moving forward. And then corners and free kicks are on standard. They're on 3 each. This is going to be your recommended corners and free kicks tactics for every formation that will be deconstructed by myself. Now, moving in to the instructions, one of the most important aspects of this custom tactics breakdown, and allowing you to set up as a 4-4-2 defensively when you are dropping back and defending with this formation. Now, in terms of the player instructions, you're going to want to have your more defensive centre forward on comeback on defence. He will then sit back in that right or left mid position, depending on which one you are going to have come back when you are defending. For the other two centre forwards, the central centre forward and the opposite centre forward to the centre forward that you're going to have come back, you're going to want to have them on stay forward. This will be your two strikers staying forward, ready to counter attack as the 4-4-2 setup with this formation. Then what you're going to want to do is have your opposite CM to the center forward that is coming back on cover wing. This will make sure that he will actually cover the opposite left or right mid position to the center forward that is coming back on defense. And then when it comes to the other two CMs, you're going to want to have them on cover center and stay back while attacking. This will ensure they are the two central CMs in the defense alongside the center forward coming back and the opposite CM on stay wide. And as you can see from the gameplay here, when you are defending, it will set up as a 4 midfield formation with a 4 defensive line formation with 2 attackers up top, aka a 4-4-2 in the defense. Then, when it comes to your defenders, centre backs will be the stock standard player instructions, but the wing backs are the important aspect here. You're going to want to have them on balanced, not on stay back while attacking. This is simply so you don't have them pushing forward too far that you will be left susceptible in the defense if you lose the ball, but they will push forward enough to offer you the overlapping option when it comes to you building up through the center and then coming wide afterwards. Now, in terms of all the other player instructions offered in the custom tactics menu, they will be left on default. Only change what I have mentioned to you here today. And now, the build-up strategy. As we know, this formation has a lot of midfielders and your attackers are rather central on the pitch. This means we need to prioritize our build-up through the center, as this will be where the majority of our passing options are. I will say, if you come wide too early to the wingbacks, you will get squeezed off the ball simply because you only have your wingback available out in the width areas when you are before the halfway line, meaning you'll be more susceptible to losing the ball out there if you come wide too early. Having said that, to build up sufficiently with this formation, you want to look for quick tiki-taka passes through the center, using your center backs, using your midfielders, and using your center forwards. Then, after you get past the halfway line, you will notice your wing backs will start to push forward as they are set to that balanced instruction. This is your key to going wide. Once you build up through the center, you get past the halfway line, you come wide to the overlapping wing backs where there will be lots of space for you to exploit. You can then get down the wing, drag the defense out, and recycle back into the middle where the gaps and spaces have opened up. And this is how the majority of pros are building up with this formation. You'll notice once you get the hang of quick tiki-taka passes through the middle, you'll then have a lot of space to exploit in the wing, and it will allow you to then recycle back into the middle once you've dragged the defense out, once you've gone out wide to the wing back. And this is how pro players break down defenses with this formation. This was how I broke down defenses in my pro career in previous years, and yet again it works in EAFC 24. So be sure to use the 4-3-2-1 with these custom tactics to score more goals and maintain a solid defense in the AFC.